Welcome to this deep dive. Today we're plunging into a rather, well, intense experience.
Based on that audio you sent, right? Valley Welding and Equipment, Inc.M4A.
Exactly. That's the one. Our goal is really to unpack the core events and try to, get a handle on what's happening in this place they call Brontaine.
Yeah, it's striking how immersive it is. I mean, it's clearly role-playing, but the detail really pulls you in.
Absolutely. And the recording, it kind of just drops you right in mid-conversation.
Uh-huh. You hear names like Tinder and Gimlock.
Right. And another one, Travis. They seem to be in this game, this world where, well, reality's a bit flexible.
And they're in Brontaine, this town that's always dark.
Perpetual darkness, yeah. And you mentioned before, didn't you, something about a sheriff?
That's right, a past run-in. And something going on, like, under the town.
Yeah, details are fuzzy, but it sounds important. Sets a kind of mysterious mood.
Definitely. Adds to the whole ongoing trouble vibe.
So the immediate thing is Tinder and Gimlock are just back home in Brontaine.
And they're recovering from a heavy night.
Heavy is one word for it. Drinking fermented bone broth.
Which Travis served them in a spinal cord.
Yep. He's described as bone obsessed.
Okay. Wow. Fermented bone broth in a spine.
I know, right? It's a pretty strong way to establish Travis's, well, his whole deal.
And the general weirdness of Brontaine itself, I suppose.
It really paints a picture, a very specific, kind of unsettling one.
That detail, bizarre as it is, it sticks with you, tells you right away this isn't your average place.
So the main action here, it really kicks off when Travis asks the others, Tinder and Gimlock.
Asks them to go with him, early morning.
Yeah, an errand. To find supplies and maybe, just maybe, make contact with the outside world.
By going to some lodge a couple miles out of town.
Exactly. So even in this perpetually dark, strange town, you still have basic needs, like supplies.
That grounds it a bit, actually. Makes it more relatable, even in a fantasy setting.
And this journey out into the cold, the dark, that's where things really start to happen.
Yeah, and that mention of contacting the outside world, it hints at maybe isolation or wanting something more. Adds another layer.
So Travis leads them out. He's muttering, apparently.
And chewing raw turnips for 20 minutes.
Yeah. 20 minutes of turnip chewing. You can almost picture it crunching away in the dark.
Kind of a quirky character detail.
Then he says he sees smoke on the horizon.
Ah, so they have a destination at least, a sign of something.
Right, a glimmer of something in all that darkness, a sense of direction.
It's interesting how they use these little sensory things, the muttering, the chewing, the smoke.
Builds the atmosphere pretty effectively, doesn't it?
Yeah, it shows you, rather than just telling you about the journey.
Simple, but it works.
So they get closer and see this building. It's kind of lopsided.
With animal skins nailed all over it.
Uh-huh. And there's this strong smell. Really unpleasant.
Spice meat, the description says.
Yeah, spice meat. Which sounds kind of harmless, but...
Combined with the skins and how Travis reacts, you just know it's bad news. Yeah. Exactly. Travis gets uneasy, like, right away.
The sensory stuff really ramps up there. The weird building, the smell.
And Travis's reaction is like a big warning sign, For them and for us listening, danger ahead.
Definitely. So they haven't even knocked yet.
Nope. The door just creaks open on its own.
Revealing. Well, pretty horrifying scene, right?
Oh, yeah. Hanging meats just rotting there.
Yeah.
And a pot bubbling in the middle of the room.
Ominously bubbly.
And this woman greets them. Wild hair, hands covered in warts.
Invites them in for meatloaf.
Yep. Meatloaf. Right next to all the rotting meat. That's where it gets really creepy.
That contrast is fantastic. The welcoming offer versus the gruesome reality. Pure foreboding.
The description's intentionally disturbing. You feel it right away. Shock and unease.
And the woman's appearance just adds to that feeling of otherness, potential threat.
Inside, the place is cramped.
Yeah.
And they see other people, too.
An old man. In a rocking chair.
Yeah, and a teenage boy.
Yeah.
Described as looking inbred.
And he's doing what? Stripping a femur?
Stripping meat off a femur, yeah. A thigh bone, just casually.
That's the most normal thing in the world.
That's what's so unsettling. The mundane way they treat the grotesque.
It shows how the environment and the people kind of reflect each other. This horror is just commonplace here.
So then Gimlock, he tries a perception check, in role-playing games.
Tries to notice something hidden or weird.
And boy, does he. He sees something in that bubbling pot.
Something moving, wet and gross under the fire.
Yeah. And then, this is the chilling part, an eyeball floats up.
An eyeball. And it blinks.
Blinks in the stew. He tells Travis immediately.
Okay, an eyeball. That's pretty much confirmation this isn't standard meatloaf.
You think? Yeah, that perception check is crucial. Shifts things from just weird to, like, outright horror.
Totally pivotal moment. Visual proof something is terribly wrong. Escalates the tension massively.
In that blinking eyeball, it's such a visceral, effective detail. 6 with you.
So Travis, who was already suspicious...
Now he's even more wary. But the woman?
She doesn't care they're uncomfortable. Just keeps pushing the stew.
He's pushing it. Calls it beautiful.
Her persistence, despite everything, just adds to the creepiness. Calling that stew beautiful shows how warped she is.
Yeah, it's like a classic horror setup, isn't it? The invitation that hides something awful.
That disconnect between the reality and how she sees it, it just feels wrong.
Then Gimlock tries another check, an investigation check this time, looking for clues.
And he finds something among the firewood.
He finds a severed foot, still in a boot.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the boot has an insignia on it from a caravan company.
A company that just arrived in Brontaine recently.
Exactly. So Travis puts it together. It leads him to the conclusion.
Cannibals. They're cannibals.
Yep. A severed foot with a logo. Pretty damning evidence. Confirms their worst fears.
And that specific detail, the caravan company logo, it connects this lodge back to Brontaine.
Yeah. Suggests the danger isn't just isolated here.
It makes you wonder what happened to the rest of that caravan, doesn't it? Very unsettling.
So they ask, politely, got anything besides the stew?
And that's when things go south fast.
Instantly, the woman slams her ladle down. The old man gets up from his rocker.
Slowly gets up. Adds to the tension.
And the teenage boy starts lurching towards Tinder and Gimlock.
Menacingly, I bet.
Then the woman just declares, feed the fire.
Feed the fire.
Chilling. And bam. Violence erupts.
Yep.
Any pretense of friendliness is gone. Their real intentions are clear.
That sudden shift from weird hospitality to just raw aggression, it's dramatic, terrifying. No doubt they're in deep trouble.
And the narrative, it kind of shifts gears here, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds like it moves into like turn-based combat, like a tabletop game.
Exactly. You start hearing about initiative rolls.
Determines who acts when.
Right. And descriptions of attacks, spells, stuff like that. It's interesting how you could follow that shift even just listening.
Yeah. The mention of initiative immediately signals that change.
Yeah.
Even without seeing it, you can kind of picture the actions unfolding turn by turn.
So Big Mama, that's the woman, she goes first.
Attacks with a spell.
Yeah, but she misses. Lucky break.
Then Gimlock tries to be heroic. Charges her.
He does, but then slips.
On the rotting human liver we mentioned earlier.
That's the one. Slips on a liver, falls flat on his face, prone.
Oh, the irony. The gruesome environment literally trips him up.
Adds a bit of dark humor, maybe, but mostly just shows how hazardous the place is.
Totally. So while Gimlock's down.
Tinder casts a spell. Burning hands on Big Mama. Does fire damage.
Okay, fire magic. Then the others attack Gimlock.
Yeah, the teenage boy, they call him Retard in the recording, attacks prone Gimlock with a meat cleaver.
Ouch. Deals damage.
And the grandpa joins in, attacks Gimlock with a steak knife.
Hits him too. Leaves him bloodied.
Yeah, bloodied.
Oh.
Which sounds like game speak for pretty badly hurt. Poor Gimlock is just getting wailed on while lying there.
Shows how dangerous these guys are. They immediately focus on the vulnerable target. Bloodied gives you a quick sense he's in bad shape.
Then Big Mama attacks him again with her ladle.
And the description is pretty graphic.
Yeah. Very graphic. Calls it a sodomizing attack. Does more damage. Let's just pause on that.
Yeah.
That's particularly brutal. Really hammers home her depravity.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
Wow, it underscores the violence, the nastiness of this whole encounter. Makes the villain seem truly monstrous.
But Gimlock, even though he's injured and on the floor...
He does something. Uses bardic inspiration.
Yeah, on Tinder, like giving him a boost.
Yeah.
Then he actually manages to stand up.
And shoves the teenage boy.
Shoves him right into the bubbling pot.
Whoa, okay.
And the description gets really gruesome. Skin bubbling off, revealing. It says, inbred faces. Jaw and neck snapping.
Oh my god. That's incredibly vivid and disturbing.
Talk about a turn of events. Even while getting beaten, Gimlock retaliates in this spectacular, horrifying way.
That's a huge moment in the fight. Decisive, shocking, and the description of the mutation in the pot just elevates the horror. It's unnatural.
Travis, who's kind of been watching.
He jumps in now, attacks the mutated boy.
Yeah, hits him with a sword. Then on his actual turn, does a lot more damage.
And pulls out his spine.
Pulls out the boy's spine. Causes him to collapse. Travis finally gets involved in a big, brutal way.
That spine removal, Just another example of the raw violence here.
Definitely ensures that threat is neutralized. Brutal, but effective.
So what's Tinder doing?
Tinder casts False Light, then follows up with a stronger Burning Hands level 2.
Hits Big Mama and the boy again.
Yeah, hits them both, though the boy was basically done for. More fire damage. Tinder's really leaning into the fire magic.
Seems like his main weapon. Adds to the chaos, the destruction of the fight.
Okay, so the grandpa's still around. He throws a dagger at Travis.
Misses.
But Big Mama attacks Travis again with a ladle.
Hits him where?
In the ass, according to the audio. Does damage.
Okay, the ladle to the ass attacks continues, becoming a weird theme.
Almost darkly comical, right? Amidst all this horror, highlights the sheer strangeness of it all.
So Gimlock, still fighting.
Yep. Uses bardic inspiration on Travis again. Travis tries to hit Big Mama back.
Misses
again.
Yeah.
Then Tinder attacks the grandpa with a dagger.
That one hits.
Hits. Tinder throws another dagger, this time at Big Mama, but misses her. It's a real messy back and forth.
Yeah. Attacks flying, some landing, some not. Shows the struggle, the resilience on both sides. Gimlock's support seems important.
Then the grandpa hits back, attacks Tinder with a meat cleaver.
Connects, causes bleeding.
Yep. And Big Mama gets Travis again with the ladle. More damage to the posterior.
Man, Tinder and Travis are taking some hits now. The fight's taking its toll.
Definitely. The remaining enemies are still dangerous, still fighting hard.
What's Gimlock do next?
He uses a spell called Earth Tremor. Shakes the ground.
Knocks the grandpa down. Prone.
Knocks him prone, yeah.
Yeah.
Does some damage. But Big Mama resists the effect.
So she's tough. Withstands the tremor.
Seems like it. Then Gimlock uses bardic inspiration on Travis a third time.
That's clever, using the tremor for control, even if Big Mama resisted. And he keeps boosting Travis.
Chose a tactical mind, maybe? Big Mama's clearly a formidable opponent, though.
So Travis attacks Big Mama again.
Yeah. And misses. Again. But then Tinder lets loose.
With what?
A fireball. Powerful spell. Hits the prone grandpa multiple times. Intense fire damage.
Oh, fireball. That's usually a bigger deal. Escalating the offense.
But the grandpa, even while down, manages to attack Tinder again.
Hits him. Wow, tenacious old guy.
Right. Then Big Mama attacks Travis with a ladle. Again.
Seriously, she is relentless with that thing.
Then Gimlock tries something different. Vicious mockery.
That's the one where you, insult someone. Psychic damage.
Exactly. Tries it on Big Mama, but she resists that too. Succeeds on her saving throw.
Man, she's tough mentally and physically. Resists tremors and insults.
But then, Travis attacks Big Mama again.
And this time.
This time it connects. And it's fatal. He kills her.
Finally, Big Mama goes down. That's huge.
Big turning point.
Yeah.
After that, Tinder casts False Life on himself.
To heal up a bit. Makes sense.
Yeah. Then he tries to shove the grandpa as a bonus action, like a quick extra move.
But you can't always do that after casting a spell, right?
Right. He gets reminded of the rule. Spellcasting usually uses up your bonus action potential for other things.
Game mechanics. Important detail.
So even with Big Mama down, the grandpa is still fighting.
Clinging to life, yeah. Attacks Tinder again. Hits him.
And Big Mama, even as she's dying, gets one last attack on Travis.
Wow, even in death. One final ladle whack, maybe. They fight to the bitter end.
Emphasizes the danger, right up until the last second.
So what happens next? Gimlock.
Gimlock uses Earth Tremor again, but a stronger version. Knocks Grandpa prone again, more damage.
Big Mama technically resists again, though she's already dead, setting up the final blow for the grandpa.
And Travis, having just killed her, pulls the ladle out of his,
Posterior, right.
Yeah.
A gruesome, but maybe necessary detail marks the end of that particular threat.
Definitely provides some closure. Then Tinder finishes off the grandpa.
Another fireball.
Another fireball, yeah. And then this really graphic final move reaches into his body with a fiery hand.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
That's inclusive. Brutal finish.
Leaves no doubt whatsoever. Underscores the violence of the whole thing. Striking image, that fiery hand.
So after all that, silence.
Pretty much. The combat ends. Travis says he's uncomfortable, which is understandable, but seems okay physically.
They must be shaken. They talk about it. The horror.
Yeah, there's a moment where they just discuss how horrific it was, acknowledge the cannibalism, the sheer awfulness.
And necessary pause, maybe, for them and for us, just to process that intense, disturbing sequence.
Travis mentions again, this lodge was outside town. He went there because he saw the smoke.
Reinforces that they were looking for contact, or at least investigating. His curiosity led them right into that nightmare.
Highlights his initiative, maybe? Or maybe recklessness.
Bit of both, perhaps. So what do they do now?
They decide to head back to Brontaine. Need to eat,
After that encounter, they have an appetite.
apparently, and they decide to take something with them.
What?
A chest of goodies they found at the lodge.
Goodies. From a cannibal lodge. What on earth could be in there?
I know, it raises so many unsettling questions. What's valuable in a place like that?
Definitely creates some lingering intrigue, doesn't it?
And the conversation ends with them planning their next move back in town.
Going back to the sheriff issue.
Yeah, planning to investigate what the sheriff's up to, which suggests this whole lodge nightmare. It was just a detour.
A terrifying detour. Reminds us there are bigger things happening in Brontaine. Sets up future conflict. But the sheriff is still out there.
Okay, let's try and unpack this a bit. Wow, what an incredibly unsettling, action-packed sequence of events.
It really gives you a vivid glimpse into this world, Brontaine. Survival seems brutal, and the unexpected is always lurking, often gruesome.
Yeah, what's fascinating is that contrast, isn't it? The high-stakes action, the really grotesque horror.
And those weird moments of dark comedy mixed in, like the ladle attacks.
The way they describe the violence, too, it's almost casual sometimes.
Mixed with these bizarre elements, the bone broth, the cannibals, the magic. It paints this picture that's vivid, yes, but also deeply disturbing.
It leaves you wondering, doesn't it? About Brontaine itself. What is causing the perpetual darkness?
And what really happened with the sheriff before? What were the baddies mentioned?
And seriously, what kind of goodies did they get from that lodge? I can't stop thinking about that.
If you connect it to the bigger picture, this whole encounter is just a powerful, scary example of the dangers in this world.
The darkness, the weird inhabitants, the underlying conflicts. It all makes for a story that's compelling, but also, deeply unsettling.
It really gets interesting when you think about the implications.
Raises tons of questions, right? About the lore, the characters' pasts, what other dangers are out there.
That mention of a previous journey, the conflict with the sheriff's people, hints at a much bigger story.
Yeah, it definitely feels like we just dropped into one chapter of something larger.
Makes you wonder, is this level of horror normal in Brontaine? Or was this lodge exceptionally bad?
Is this just another Tuesday for them? Or a truly shocking event?
Yeah.
Good question.
So for the listener, what does this all mean? Well, this deep dive gives you this really concentrated dose of unique, imaginative storytelling.
Yeah, it really highlights how shared imagination can create these incredibly memorable, if sometimes pretty gruesome, scenarios.
What stands out is how collaborative it feels. You can hear them building this weird, unsettling world together, reacting to each other's actions.
Absolutely. So finally, here's maybe a provocative thought to leave folks with.
Okay, let's hear.
Think about that blend we mentioned. The horror mixed with these moments of dark humor.
Right. The ladle, the slipping on the liver.
What does that combination suggest? About the overall tone, the themes maybe, of this ongoing story in Brontaine.
Is it meant to be purely terrifying?
Or is there also this layer of dark curiosity, maybe even a strange kind of morbid entertainment in its grimness?
That's a great question. How does mixing the horrific and the humorous affect how you engage with it?
Does it make it more unsettling? Or does it offer some weird kind of relief from the brutality? Something to think about.